I've got 3 stories to tell you about a well-known rock musician. One of them involves another well-known rock musician. Back when I first came to Los Angeles around 2001, I worked at West LA Music. If you read music magazines around the 80s, 90s, 2000s, you saw the ads for West LA Music where they always had store employees with famous rock stars. It was basically true, like all the popular, well-known rock stars would come into the store. I worked in the guitar department, and there was another guy there who I had a bit of a rivalry with. We both had music degrees, and I think that made us mortal enemies. I don't know. So we're going to call him Charlie, because that's his name. There was a piece of gear called the Oberheim Matrix 1000, and it was an early version of a looping station, but it was in a rack mount unit. They still go for like $2,000 on eBay. It was expensive, it was really complicated to operate, and it required several pieces of equipment that we didn't have. It was a pain to demonstrate. So one day I see Charlie bopping along with this Oberheim unit in his hands, and I'm like, no. And he gets closer, and I don't look up because I don't want to make eye contact. And he sets it down in front of me, and he says to whoever the customer is standing behind him, "This is Ron. He can help you. He knows way more about this than I do." And I've been tagged at this point. I can't back out. So I look up, and it's Stewart Copeland, drummer for the Police. And at that point in time, he was doing some more experimental stuff. He was working with loops. He was doing all kinds of stuff. And he's like, "Want to see if this is something I could incorporate?" And so Charlie and I basically, in one of the highest pressure sales jobs I've ever had in my life, we talked him out of buying this $2,000 piece of gear. By this point in time, they were putting loopers in foot switches and foot pedals. That's when I met Stewart Copeland, and we talked him out of buying stuff at a store where we could have gotten fired for talking him out of buying stuff. My second Stewart Copeland story doesn't involve Stewart Copeland directly. A friend of mine called me and said, "Hey, we're going to see a Police tribute band up in the Valley in Northridge at a sports bar. It'll be good." And I'm like, no, maybe, okay, whatever. And he goes, "Taylor Hawkins is playing drums." And I said, "I'm in. Tell me when to be there." I was a fan of Taylor Hawkins from way before Foo Fighters, back when he first toured with Alanis Morissette. Go look up Alanis Morissette with Taylor Hawkins and just watch any of those performances. His playing is just unreal. So good. He made everything sound right. And if you're not a drummer, or if you haven't played in a band where some drummer's trying to copy Stewart Copeland's parts, his parts are hard. And it's not hard because it's complicated. It's not like progressive rock. It's simple, but it's off. It's different. It's not what you'd expect. And anytime I've heard drummers try to pull it off, they either can't do it right, or they're counting so intense that they can't actually play. They're just hitting notes in the right spots. Taylor Hawkins absolutely nailed it. Made Police tunes sound like funk. I mean, it was so smooth and beautiful. It's the only time I got to see Taylor Hawkins perform. Rest in peace, dude. One of my all-time favorite rock drummers, hands down. That's number 2. Number 3 is just me. If you are listening and paying attention, you'll notice you hear a strange version of Synchronicity number 2 by the Police. This is my cover that I did. This cover, I thought, this would be a cool song to do with a horn section. And I also thought, it's a pretty straight-ahead rock tune, so it should be easy to get the drums, because I know about Stewart Copeland's drumming. Well, once I got into it and really started to nail down drum parts, and I'm programming drums, I'm in a DAW programming drums, right? I can't figure out how to make what I'm doing sound right. And so I actually found this guy who had a series of 4 or 5 videos on YouTube explaining how to play every section in Synchronicity number 2, including charts. So I, by hand, programmed in, almost note for note, Stewart Copeland's original drum tracks in my drum program. You can go and listen to this and judge for yourself. I'd say probably still 95% of the drum tracks on here are note for note Stewart Copeland drums that I programmed in literally one note at a time. I've got 2 or 3 tracks where I put in a horn section like this one, Subdivisions by Rush, Money Changes Everything by Cyndi Lauper, all have horns added in. So go check it out. It's on my YouTube page. And here's to Taylor Hawkins, rest in peace, dude, one of my favorite drummers, and Stewart Copeland playing great stuff. And I don't know if he ever bought an Oberheim, but he didn't buy it from us. Make stuff. Take care.